Hey everybody and welcome back to my channel. In today's video, I wanted to share with you this really fun DIY card that I created, and it is a flip card. So yes, this card is interactive. You pull on the tab and your pages move for you. This card has also been called a waterfall card. So if you would like to see how I created this card, then keep on watching. So I went ahead and prepared all the pieces that we're going to need. So your first strip is going to measure at 6 inches by 1.5 inches. And then you have that smaller rectangle, which is going to be your binder strip. And that is going to measure 3 inches by 1/2 inch. And then you have each of your panels for each of the pages that flips. And each of those panels are measured at 1.5 by 2. And then I have just a mat. So your mats are just going to be about 1/8 inch smaller than your panels. So to prepare the longer strip, you're going to need to do some scoring. So your first score mark is going to be at 1.5 inches, and then 1/4 inches after each of those. So 1/2 inch, and then move it over a quarter, score, move it over a quarter, score, move it over a quarter, and score it down. And then here you see me fitting the binder strip. So the way this mechanism moves is actually on that last score line, you're going to fold your paper backwards, and your binder strip is going to get glued down only on the front portion. And I'm just taking that binding strip and flipping it and folding it around the back strip. So as you can see there, I'm kind of almost out of the frame. I'm just like kind of playing around with the movement. So like I said, we're going to go ahead and put some really strong adhesive on the center of that binder strip, right in the middle of where you kind of folded it over on itself. And we're going to place that down. Now the position where you place this strip is not really that important. You just don't want it all the way on the edge. I guess I left about 1/8 inch from the edge where I glued that down. And you see me there just really securing that and really pushing that on, because this is going to be the portion of your flip card that attaches to the card front. So now I'm going to start preparing each of my little pages. So like I said, each one of the darker gray squares are going to be 1.5 inches by 2 inches. And then I just created a mat. I didn't really measure this out. I just kind of free-handed each of these little mats that I used distressed inks on. So the colors of distressed inks that I used was aged mahogany, fired brick, spice marmalade, and mustard seed. And I just kind of created a little background and then cut out each one from that paper. And I did decide to go with the red and gold because that is the Gryffindor colors. And now we're going to attach each one of those pages onto the longer strip, which is kind of your mechanism. So you want to make sure that you butt each of the panels right up to the score line, but don't put it on top of the score line. You don't want that score line to be covered with any paper or adhesive, because you want your flip card to move really freely. So this first page, which is going to be placed right on the right side of your 1.5 inch score mark, you're going to really put down a lot of adhesive, and you're going to glue that page right up to the score line, but not covering the score line. And then I'm going to take some 1/8 inch score tape, and I'm going to put that right in between each of the other score marks. So right in the middle, remember, not covering the score marks, but right in the middle. So you see me here kind of fiddling because I really want to make sure that I didn't cover up any of my score marks. And then once you have all your adhesive placed down, I did use my bone folder to just burnish that tape. You really want your tape to be nice and sturdy. And then here I'm going to just remove each of the strips and really take my time and place down each one of those panels. And also you want to keep in mind too that if you have a scene or you're telling a story with your little flip card, that here is where you want to make sure that each of your panels are consistent in telling your story. So for me, I wanted the yellow to be on the right side just because I thought visually that would look more cute. So here I have all my panels folded down, and what I'm going to do is just fold each one of them back on itself just to really make sure that I have a nice smooth movement. And right now I'm just going to prepare my card front. So I'm using just this really pretty piece of dark red cardstock. And I went ahead and ran that through my Cuttlebug with just a rectangle framelit, stitched rectangle framelit. And now I'm going through each of my stamp sets, and I'm going to be just picking out iconic images from one of my favorite movies of all time. And then I also pick out an additional stamp set that had the perfect greeting for this card. I really wanted my greeting or sentiment to just be like more big. I wanted that to be kind of the focus along with the flip card, nothing too much extra going on. And here I'm just positioning things where I kind of want it, keeping in mind that I didn't want my flip card to pass my card front. So I'm just making sure the spacing is right. And I'm using my anti-static tool, and we're going to be embossing each of those images in a really beautiful gold detail embossing powder. I do like to double stamp my embossing ink. I just feel like it gives me just more of a clear image. And here you see me just doing that. And once we heat set this gold looks so beautiful on the red that I was like really mesmerized and kind of inspired by that red and gold, especially being that it is Gryffindor colors. So you can see that gold really stands out. And what you don't see on camera is I actually went ahead and took a star from that same set that I got the sentiment from, and I just put some more stars just because I love the red on gold, the gold on red, so I just wanted more of it. And one thing that they don't tell you, or what I don't see in most videos, is that after you put down your anti-static tool, after you've embossed and your embossing cooled off, you really want to make sure you wipe your cardstock down. I did eventually end up doing this because you kind of see it leaves it a little fuzzy and it looks a little sloppy, but it's only because you put the powder down. So you really just have to take like a dry paper towel or dry rag. You can even use your sleeve and just wipe down your cardstock. And these are the images that I decided to go with. So I went ahead and colored in each of my characters with my Touch 5 markers. And they came out really cute, so iconic. I mean, you clearly know where these characters are from. And I just went ahead and told the story of just them three hanging out, you know, doing what they do, being brave, being very smart and intelligent, and being powerful. So I went ahead and put each one of them on a different page. And if you hear scuffling in the background, please don't mind that. That is just my cat. He is like having a full-blown party right now and just making the most noise while I'm deciding to film this voiceover. So I went ahead and zoomed you in a little more for the last page because I was going to use the sorting hat, but then I just decided to cut out some of the characteristic traits of the house and just put that on the back. I decided to opt out of the sorting hat. So here on those back tabs, I flipped over my flip card, and on those back tabs, you want to put down a really strong liquid adhesive. Please make sure that it is super strong because this is the only thing that's attaching that flip card to your card front. And this flip card will get a lot of action from you pulling on the mechanism and just the card moving. So you really want to make sure that it's strong so that your card doesn't fall apart. And here I am just gluing that down, holding it down, and then just kind of giving it a little movement just to make sure that my adhesive isn't stuck on any of the pages, that they move really nice. So what I also did off camera was I cut down that pull tab and I heat embossed pull here with that same goal on the end of the tag, just so that the recipient knows that they should pull the card. And then, as always, I always kind of do this, and I don't even know why, but I always back all of my card fronts with foam tape now. It's kind of something I started doing. So here you see me backing that in foam tape. And then we're going to peel that off and affix that to our card front. And, excuse me, until our card base. And our card base actually measures at 5.5 by 4.25, so our card front is just a little smaller than that, about a quarter smaller. And we're going to make sure that that's nice and centered and just place that down. And that's pretty much it for the card front. I didn't add anything else to the card front, but what I did do was open the card up and I decided to stamp just in some Hero Arts black ink. I decided to stamp some a sentiment and turn this into a birthday card. So the inside of our card is going to read, "Have a magical birthday," and I decided to use the wand with some little sprinkles on it. And that is pretty much it for the card. Thank you guys so much for watching, and if you like this video, please don't forget to subscribe, like, comment, and share this video. And until the next time, I will see you guys later. Bye bye.